quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Tonight, the Bucks dispel the Orlando Magic once again.
Right back to Giannis, and Giannis, a thunderous left-hand jam again.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6 with Bucks shoot-arounds on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock and 22 degrees in Milwaukee. Today, the clouds will increase as the afternoon moves on. Tonight, you can expect some snow, less than an inch, though. We have a high of 23 today. Tonight, our temps will dip down to 20. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. A WTMJ exclusive. Two former presidents of Leinenkugel Brewing say they've offered to buy the Chippewa Falls Brewery from Molson Coors and continue brewing beer there. Dick and Jake Leinenkugel say Molson Coors has rejected that offer. Last year, Molson Coors announced plans to shut down the 157-year-old brewery. Their last day of brewing beer at the Leinenkugel Brewery is this Friday. More than 50 workers will lose their job at that location. Dick Leinenkugel will join Wisconsin's Afternoon News exclusively at 5:15 tonight. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire deal, clearing the way for the release of dozens of hostages held in Gaza. CBS's Margaret Brennan with the latest.
Comes in the final days of the Biden administration. It was President Biden who sent his diplomatic team saying, get this done. In fact, U.S. negotiator Brett McGurk has been there for the better part of a month trying to get negotiations closed.
In exchange for the release of some hostages, Israel will free hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and allow hundreds of thousands of displaced people to return to their homes in Gaza. Here locally, for just the third time in the last 60 years, Milwaukee County will soon have a new district attorney. Kent Lovern will take the oath of office Thursday afternoon. Former Milwaukee Police Lieutenant and host on 1017 The Truth, Dr. Ken Harris tells WTMJ, Lovern needs to eliminate the current cash bail policies set by outgoing DA John Chisholm.
Instead of letting someone sit in jail because the cash bail is what it's supposed to be, $1 million, we make it $1,500 and they bail out and go back to the same community and cause trouble. That's happened under this previous district attorney.
In 2023, Wisconsin voters approved a constitutional amendment to allow judges to consider the severity of the crime when setting bail. Well, it's just 2 years away, but the race for governor is already making headlines.
Governor Evers says he'll decide later this year whether he'll run for a third term.
Early summer, I would say.
Evers on the Political Power Hour earlier this week. Now, as for possible Republican candidates, Congressman Tom Tiffany and business owner Bill Berrien are among those considering a run, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports, as well as Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman, who chatted with Steve Scafidi about his name being floated in that article.
I get asked every single day. I mean, there's people from all across the state who are reaching out.
Schoeman says he's currently focused on his county executive job. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It is a good day on Wall Street. Everything is in the green, everything up. The Dow up 724 points to 43,242. Remember when we were just waiting for the Dow to hit 40,000? Now here we are sitting at 43,000. S&P 500 is up 105 points to 5,948. NASDAQ up 444 points to 19,489. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 104.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks dethroned the Kings after securing a 130-115 win here at home. It's quite the game last night. So much fun. Giannis Antetokounmpo led all scorers with 33 points and got another triple-double with 13 assists and 11 rebounds. The Bucks host the Magic tonight. Coverage starts with Bucks shoot-around after the 6 p.m. news. Wisconsin basketball edged Ohio State 70-68 from Kohl Center. The Badgers have won 6 straight games and improved to 14-3 on the season. Wisconsin visits USC Saturday afternoon. Badger Sports Updates sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Let's check out the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Look at this. So nice on the roads right now. No crashes to let you know about, and no disabled vehicles on the system either. Here's a look at your 5-day forecast. Today, those clouds will increase as the afternoon goes on. Tonight, expect some snow. Less than an inch, though. Breezy otherwise. We have a high of 23 today, and then tonight, we'll dip down to 20. Tomorrow, the temperatures will go up. Mostly cloudy. We have a high of 36, and the temperatures go up and up and up until they go back down. Friday, high of 42, partly cloudy and breezy. Saturday, yep, we start to go back down again. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and a high of 27. Sunday, get ready for this, though. The good news is it's going to be sunny. The bad news, only a high of 10. It is currently 21 degrees in Mequon, 23 in Kenosha, and 22 here in downtown Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Hello. So I have to tell you, as we were still weathering this cold, I said last week my brother left L.A. because of the fires.
Sure.
They're camping out in Palm Springs. Not actually. They're at a hotel. And I was talking, it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh.
And I called him and say, happy birthday. And not the most aware person, Wisconsin native. He goes, man, you know, it really gets cold in Palm Springs. And meanwhile, it's 5 degrees here. And I just wanted to jump through the phone and be like, oh, you had to turn your heat on in the desert?
My brother is kind of not the same, but he lives in Florida. And he still laughs at Floridians because growing up in Chicago, he knows what hot is. He goes, man, it gets to be 55 and people are pulling out their fur coats.
The first time my dad and I went, as we were exploring the option to move to L.A. when I was acting, we went to L.A. in November, and I think my dad packed only shorts. And people there, it was in the low 60s.
Right.
People were in parkas.
Yeah, if you haven't lived in one of those climates, it is ridiculous how people react to the cold. But
did you ever adjust? Did you ever become like, "Ooh, it's a little cold out here," mid-January, where it's still 55 or higher?
If it were in the, because sometimes we were up a little higher. We were up in the foothills, so it would get into like the 40s and stuff in the morning, and I'd have but not. I didn't dress like I dress here.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have a giant parka and a knit hat and big heavy gloves. I had a jacket, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is now how I know I'm getting old. Yesterday, I stopped at the store on the way home, and it was cold.
Yes.
It was snowy.
Yes.
It was nasty, and some idiot walked in a hoodie and shorts.
Is he young?
He was
in his like
he
20s,
had to be late 30s or 40s.
Interesting.
And I just, in my mind, I shook my head and went, "Hey, you stupid kid wearing your shorts. It's just freezing outside."
I'm waiting to get scolded by someone because, for kids, for children who are in car seats, they can't wear coats while they're in their car seat for safety reasons, right? Because it has to be really tight on them. And so I mostly am just tucking Frankie in my coat to take her to and from the car when it's this cold, instead of the hassle of taking the coat on and off and then taking it off, buckling her in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just waiting for someone to be like, "Put a coat on that child."
Yeah, what are you doing? You have 18 jobs. You can't buy a coat for your kid? What's going on? No, man, that's you bring that up. That is the one thing I do not miss about having a very small child in the winter.
Seat?
No, just trying to get them all bundled up. For everything. It takes forever. And imagine then doing it for 23 kindergarten kids at the end of the day. Oh, man. No, thank you. We would have, school the bell rang at 3 o'clock. We would start getting ready at 20 to 3, and still we'd be putting mittens and gloves on these kids trying to get them out the door.
That's
it's
hilarious. All right. Well, coming up today. So yesterday we talked about TikTok.
Yes.
I talked about a TikTok on our show. John and Julia had me on for Wisconsin's Afternoon News to talk about TikTok. And the big thing when we talk about TikTok is the algorithm.
Yes.
But what we may or may not understand is algorithms now rule most things.
Sure.
When you are conducting your day. Obviously, it's part of your social media consumption and what the algorithm is choosing to feed you, but it's also your emails. Like when you are in your Gmail account and if you have the it turned on for it to be like promotions, updates, and so it like will suss out your emails for you of what is like directed towards you versus what is a spam or a e-commerce update or something like that. So an algorithm is sorting your email for you. It's also, like if you think about Tinder and all of our these matchmaking sites now, and it's an algorithm kind of showing you people there. It's used at Wendy's. It's
at Wendy's?
Oh yeah, so it's like Uber to Wendy's. They find optimal higher prices, right? So it's like surge pricing and how things like the influx of data to change things and how what's showing to you.
Right.
And now, apparently, I just learned this because of the local angle, but this includes our rent.
I found this very interesting and a little bit troubling, especially with what's going on in California, where all of a sudden, hey, there's a fire, people need rents, boom.
And that's that I don't understand because California, they have a price gouging law on the books, and yet it seems like people are not following it or it is not being enforced.
Not yet.
So apparently this is a little different. So the DOJ, the Department of Justice, federal, not Josh Call, but this is at the national level. So there's a software company called RealPage, and it's being sued by the DOJ for using an algorithm that suggests rent prices to corporate landlords.
Wow.
So the DOJ is arguing that the algorithm has driven rents higher and constitutes an illegal information sharing scheme. And then the local angle is last week, the DOJ added 6 of RealPage's biggest customers as defendants to the case. 2 of those companies, Willow Bridge Property Company and Graystar Real Estate Partners, operate in Milwaukee. And you may have heard of them. Yes. The Moderne and the Couture.
Fancy buildings.
So like the 2, especially the Couture, like the most expensive high-end luxury apartments in the city. But there's also Bayshore Place in Glendale, Emerald Row Apartments in Oak Creek, and the Ruby in Brookfield. So this is the same but between those 2 companies. So I'm interested in this. So we were going to do this earlier this week because it kind of caught my eye in general as far as I'm interested because I think this is an example of the government actually protecting people.
Right.
And But it's also, when you think, especially of these high-end apartments, if people are paying it, isn't that kind of the free market?
Yeah, that's what that was my concern. If people are willing to pay it, if they're not scoffing, is it insider trading or like they're saying, information sharing? Is it gouging if people are willing to pay it, or is it only gouging if you say, no, this is too much, we're not going to do it?
Well, and if it's because of the sharing of non-public information, is like that the key? And I'm also interested in how this is impacting downstream, because RealPage, from what I understand, RealPage is very expensive.
Yeah.
And so it's not like your landlord down the street with like a 6-unit property is subscribing to this, but is it from the very top of these corporate landlords using this information that sets their prices, that sets everything else down below it?
This is going to be interesting to find out, because my thought is, okay, these luxury apartments are going to cost more anyway. What's the difference? If you and I both are real estate developers and we own apartment buildings, and I say to you, Kristin, what are you charging for your top floor apartments? And you tell me a figure.
Like over a beer?
Right. We're just out we're at a meeting.
Talking shop.
Yeah, we're talking about business. Or I call you and I say, listen, I'm opening this building. I'm going to put my apartments on the market. What are you guys charging?
Well, it's also, that's public, because usually when you go to any of these websites, the rent's listed.
Sure. But before they list the rent, they have to decide what the rent is going to be. So if we're having that conversation, is it collusion? I don't think so. It's two people. We're setting a price. We're setting, just like they did for our water bottles. The water bottle companies all set prices for these water bottles.
All right.
I could buy a cheap water bottle. I can live in a less expensive apartment, or I can, somebody could give me the Cadillac of water bottles.
All right, well, we're going to find out, because when we come back, we're going to talk to Professor Callie Murray, who is a Marquette law professor. She's going to break down all of this for us on Spanning the State.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom. Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And last week, the Department of Justice announced that they're suing 6 of the country's largest landlords, including 2 that operate in and around Milwaukee, accusing them of using a software system to share non-public rent data and weaken the bargaining power of their tenants. So the software is called RealPage. The local property management companies include the companies that run the Modern and Couture, very high-profile buildings in Milwaukee. So here to discuss this practice and this case is Professor Kaylee Murray, who is a professor of law at Marquette University. Welcome to the show, Kaylee.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So you've been tracking this case, you just told us, for a couple years now.
Yeah, so the ProPublica report and then another report in the New York Times came in 2022.
Yeah.
And so I saw this and I was like, oh, this is going to be pretty
This
big.
is up your alley.
Yeah.
So explain to people what RealPage is.
RealPage is basically it's a management company that has 3 different types of software that help you to track data related to rental prices. And so the real value of it is this these sort of nested series of programs that permit property managers to enter in certain types of information, and then that information is compared nationally to all the major rental markets. And then once you do that, what you can get from that information is a pretty accurate number about how people will pay rent.
And this is just geared toward landlords, correct? Or property managers?
I would say it's geared to large property managers.
Large property
Because
managers.
it's super expensive, right?
It's super expensive. It's and so what is interesting as you read the complaint, there's both placing the information into the algorithm, but RealPage also would allow different landlords from different parts of the country to meet and discuss that information. So I think in the initial reports, it appeared that what we had was you placed the information into the algorithm and then the algorithm would spit out the information. But the complaint alleges that RealPage also facilitated meetings between different types of property managers throughout the country. So there's actually 2 pretty serious allegations that the algorithm helps you to set the price, but also that there were opportunities for collusion.
So for those of us who are not lawyers,
yes,
what part of what you just explained breaks antitrust laws?
So under antitrust law, competitors can't get together to fix prices.
Okay.
So the best way to think about it, there were a series of important antitrust cases in the early 1980s involving agriculture. And what would happen is everybody would go to the local, ag conference, and then there would be a PowerPoint up and everybody would meet. And that's fine. But what would also happen at the agricultural meetings is then people would sort of go off into another room and then they would sort of discuss what the prices should be for various items. I think one was like grain elevators, right? And that's price fixing, right?
Okay.
When you get together with a party and you fix prices. What's tricky in like the new age is that you don't necessarily need to get together with anybody. An algorithm can be designed to help you understand what the prices is, and you just move to the market. So you sort of read the report and say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and price it like X. And so the real tension in the DOJ's case is we want to have algorithms that help us to understand what market conditions are in real estate. I think that's fine, but it appears that RealPage went beyond that particular point at instances, and that might be where there is some real friction in the antitrust case.
And is that why they're charging not only RealPage, but the landlords themselves?
Yes. So it's sort of like, think about Facebook, right? Like you go to Facebook, you see all your friends like scrolls, but then there's Facebook groups, right? Where you can enter into a group and then have separate conversations. And it appears like, at least from what the government is alleging, RealPage had some types of forums in which parties could meet and
collude. Is that the word that we're saying?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm a law professor. I don't want to say collude. But the parties would meet with each other, and that is also part of the complaint as well.
Well, and one of the things you said before we came back from break was how this is contributing to the nationalization of our real estate market, both both as rentals and properties. And so that's kind of my bigger question as far as because this is so expensive, there's only certain landlords and property ownership companies that afford it. But how is this affecting downstream everybody's rent?
So I think there's 2 things to pay attention to. So my poor students since like 2008 have basically heard me like go off on like, they're like, it's like, she's like the lady from Homeland with the board. I'm like, okay, guys. So real estate information used to be local.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to understand what the price was for a house, you'd go to the local land office. You would research the price of the house and how many people had purchased it. You would also research the price of the last person that sold it, and that would help you to buy the property. Real estate information now, anybody can go to the local land office records in Milwaukee and look at the same types of information.
Because it's on a website now.
Because it's on a website, right? And so what we are seeing is now we have out-of-state buyers coming into Wisconsin and purchasing real property. We've seen the interest of large-scale private equity into the purchase of lots of property, and with models that basically outbid local investors. They outbid local homeowners. And what's really interesting about this case is we haven't seen that happen as much in rental properties. It's a little bit, while we might have national companies that manage these properties, local rental information is actually much more difficult to get, right? Because there's no centralized database for rent.
Right.
Like if you're looking for rent in different parts of Milwaukee, you might get an average price, but unless you literally go to every property manager in Milwaukee and say, what's your rent? You're not going to get that price. But this algorithm, I think, really takes some of that stickiness away in the rental market. And I think what would happen if the Department of Justice is not interfering at this point is it might be expensive now. But if I'm a good manager of RealPage, I'm scaling that property up. I want to become like Realtor.com or Zillow. I want to be able to have information that goes not just to the most expensive rent, but to the entire market, because that allows me to come in and purchase a apartment building and then set prices in a particular way. And this is an asymmetry that really impacts renters, right? Renters don't have any of this information. At least when you buy a house, you can go to Realtor or Zillow and figure it out. A renter, unless you're calling up every building in the city, you don't have that same type of information. And if you look at the complaint very closely, part of what RealPage was doing was collecting this information. And because it's not public in the way that housing sales are, it provides a real advantage in the market.
So you think it's a pretty strong case?
I never say.
Allegedly. Well, as it develops, we'll have to have you back because we have to let you go. But this is fascinating. And so we'll let you go. We'll come back. Professor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for being here.
Professor Kaylee Murray is a professor of law at Marquette Law University. We'll be back after this.
If the magic really have any sort of power,
Pick a card, any card.
don't you think that instead of pulling bunnies out of their hat,
Now take a good look at that card.
they'd consider trying to pull a win out?
Watch while I turn these spades into stars.
The Magic teleport north to take on the Bucks.
Lillard, he's going to fire up a three, and he cans it.
Our Bucks Radio Game Day coverage starts tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee, with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Just following up on our conversation with Professor Kaylee Murray, because I wanted to ask her this on air, but then we had to go.
No time.
It was basically the outcome, like what could happen, and she said basically landlords are already settling on these private meetings.
Okay.
But what will probably go to court is, I mean, not unlike, right, we were seeing with the TikTok thing, it's like, what are we doing with algorithms?
Yeah.
What is legal and not legal with what algorithms do when all they actually are is collecting information and spitting out information? And like, what about that is legal, is not legal, is transparent, not transparent, even if it's giving an unfair advantage to the big guy?
It will be very interesting to follow this. And boy, she was ready.
She was ready.
She was ready. She'd been waiting for someone to call and ask her about this.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we did.
All right, ABC News and local headlines are next.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. After more than a year of war in Gaza, sparked by the Hamas attacks on October 7th in Israel, a framework to end the conflict now reached. It follows months of brokered talks. President Biden at the White House moments ago.
Because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
The first phase would bring the release of 33 hostages, including Americans held for more than 460 days. And later plans include reconstruction of Gaza. ABC's Martha Raddatz has more.
The destruction there is enormous. 2.6 million people, 90%, it is estimated, have been displaced. And Hamas says 46,000 have been killed.
President Biden says elements of the deal are similar to the plan he introduced last May and added his administration, along with the incoming Trump administration, worked with one voice during the final talks. This is ABC.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. The two students still in the hospital after the school shooting at Abundant Life Christian in Madison are improving. A spokesperson for the UW Health System says the patients have been upgraded to good condition. They're being treated right now at American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. A student and teacher were killed in that December shooting. The shooter shot and killed herself, according to police. Madison police still investigating the motive. A student at Milwaukee Public Schools has tested positive for lead poisoning. The health department says the student attends the Golda Meir Lower Campus just north of downtown. The department identified lead paint in the basement bathroom at the school. The district and health department are now currently working to take care of the identified lead hazards. No other students have reported illnesses. And Wisconsin State Fair out with a big announcement today. The best-selling R&B group of all time, Boys to Men, is coming back to State Fair. They'll headline the newly titled Bank 5-9 main stage on Friday, August 1st. Mark your calendars, fans. I know I am. The R&B icons will sing their latest songs, but also all those classics like End of the Road and Motown Philly. Tickets go on sale on Friday. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It has been a great day on Wall Street so far, and that continues as I take a fresh peek now. The Dow is up 748 points to 43,266. S&P 500 is up just a little bit more than 110 points to 5,953. And the NASDAQ is up 473 points to 19,517. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check out the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. We're doing pretty good. In fact, you have to go all the way to Madison to find anything. No major crashes in our area, no disabled vehicles in the system either. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, the clouds, they will increase as the afternoon goes on. We started sunny, then we're getting clouds, and later, we're getting snow. We have a high of 23 today. Tonight, that snow will arrive. Less than an inch, though. It will be breezy, too. Prepare for that. We have a low of 20 tonight with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 36. Our temperatures are going up until they don't. Friday, partly cloudy, breezy and mild, a high of 42 on Friday. But then Saturday, those temps start to go down, high of 27 on Saturday and a high of 10 on Sunday. But it will be sunny. It's currently 21 degrees in Mequon, 23 in Kenosha, and 22 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Hey, business owners, are you looking to sell your business? I'm sure you have plenty of questions. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me for our latest Annex Wealth Management webinar. I'll be joined by Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn from Annex Wealth Management as we answer your questions. Who should you consult? And of course, when is the best time for you to sell your business? Sign up for this free webinar on Wednesday, January 29th. Text WEB to 855-616-1620 to sign up for the free webinar. Only here on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're looking for a new dentist, you should check out Dr. James Michaels at Economawalk Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you the highest level of care possible. He has prioritized patients' needs, no matter how sensitive, since he began practicing in 1985. If you're due for a dental visit, Economawalk Dental has an $89 new patient special, so you can get the care that you need at an affordable price. In addition to an exam, you'll receive a gentle professional cleaning that will leave your mouth feeling smooth and rejuvenated. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Check out Economawalk Dental Care at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give them a call at 262-567-7224. Start 2025 on a good note by feeling confident about your smile and go see my dentist, Dr. James Michaels, at Economawalk Dental Care.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
I know, it's here. It's January. WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you have the January blues, brighten up your day with a free prime rib dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. When you buy one prime rib dinner, you get a second prime rib dinner free. Or order anything on the menu, your second dinner is always free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks. Buy one, get one free. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, a bourbon, or choose from over 100 wines on a brand new wine list. The Fox and Hounds is in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It is truly a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up. Check them out. Thousands of lights, Christmas characters. It is a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm and cozy on a cold January night. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. The restaurant is spectacular this time of year. Enjoy your free prime rib dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
I would give a couple weeks' salary if President Biden came out to this song and did the dance. And then went into his speech.
Only a couple weeks?
Well, listen, for what we make, yeah, listen.
That would be, I'm sure there's an AI video somewhere of him doing it. There could
If
be
not,
if we just
somebody's
asked
gonna-
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Please make a Biden video of him doing the in-sync bye-bye-bye dance.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
He is saying goodbye tonight.
He is. President Biden plans to deliver a primetime farewell address to the nation tonight, putting a capstone on his 5-decade political career.
Wow.
8 p.m., so 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. here. And I don't know if it's just a short memory, but because I was thinking about it, I was like, what was obviously Trump's farewell address. I don't even know if he did one because he was still contending that he won.
Oh, okay. Right. No,
right? Because I don't remember what he said.
conceded.
And so I don't think,
No.
I don't know if he did. I should have looked this up, but I don't know if he did one. I have no idea what President Obama said when he did his in early 2017. And so it's feels, because there's been so much volatility.
Yeah.
This feels kind of like, what is he going to say? But what do you want him to say?
What do I want him to say?
Yeah.
In an ideal world? First thing I would like him to say is, for all the people who are disappointed in the results of the election and think it is my fault, I apologize. I realize I told you when you elected me that I was coming in for one term because...
Did he actually say that, or did he insinuate it?
boy, I would have to go back and check every piece of tape. But
because I feel like he said things along the lines of ushering in a new
right.
generation.
He was going to be the bridge to the next generation.
Yeah.
Well, the bridge was crumbling, and so I would like him to cop to that, to say, listen, I got in office, I was doing a pretty good job, things were going okay, and quite frankly, this job is great. For all its stress, I've wanted it my whole life, so I figured I could do 4 more years, and I don't really want to leave, but. Yeah. I didn't want to step down, but I did, and this is what you get.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I would like a little. I think my feeling about Joe Biden overall is that he's a genuine guy. I mean, does he talk like a politician? Yes. Does he sugarcoat or smooth out edges of the truth like every politician? Sure. But I would like him to just. I would like it to seem at least genuine that he's. Listen, I've worked over 50 years.
I don't think he is sorry though. Like in the interviews he's given since the election, he's offered, from what I've heard, no concession or backtrack of I should have stepped down earlier. Like there's been no. Right. Everything's kind of been like, well, I did the best that I could.
Well, if he
like Charlie Brown,
this was and this was just. In our pie in the sky, what we would like him to say. So I don't know. You're right though. From his interviews, he doesn't think he made a mistake.
Yeah, I know.
And I try to remember before the debate and after the debate, and if I noticed a lot of the same issues that came out at the debate, if I had noticed them before, or if I had just chalked them up to, well, this is an older guy. He's going to walk a little slower. He's going to, we know he stutters. But then all of a sudden, after the debate and after the election, boy, it looks like it aged him another 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like him to say that. What about?
I think that was my first instinct too. Is like I'd like for him to say, I think what will overshadow. I mean, there's a lot of people, right? There's some people who think he's the worst president we ever had, and there's some people who think he could go down the history. We'll think of him as one of the best presidents because you think about what he walked into with the pandemic and a recession and the investments in infrastructure and clean energy, and there's a lot there, and some people don't like that stuff. But TBD on how history will look back at this presidency. But I think no matter what, it will be looked at of he should have stepped down. And I forgot if I was listening to The Bulwark or what I was listening to as far as people talking about this and how unique this presidency was because of the pandemic, not because of what he was dealing with of how do we bounce back from this, but because he was so insulated from the get-go, right?
That's
as
true.
far as how many more, how
he was in his basement.
Every other presidency, yes, exactly. Every other administration, there is a lot more people involved than because of COVID from the beginning. His inner circle was small, and then it just stayed small.
Yeah.
And so the ability for more people to be like, hey, what are we doing here? What just wasn't there?
That's a good point. I'm trying. What else? As I look back, I'm trying to figure out what else I want him to hear him say. I mean, comedically, I would love to go, and you know what? I never liked Kamala Harris. I didn't think she should have run. I knew other people.
Just spill all the tea.
Everything comes out.
Just get up there and be like, I only got a couple years left, not even like in general. So
I've kept my mouth shut
Here's
for
where
50
all the bodies
years.
are buried.
Area 51 is real, my fellow Americans. I want him to tell everything, because why not? He's got unlimited immunity until he is out of office. He is still the president. We know from the Supreme Court he can do basically whatever he wants under that office. So tell us about Area 51. Tell us what was in
Who shot Kennedy?
Who shot Kennedy? Read us Trump's letter to you that he left in the Resolute desk when you took office. Just go buck wild.
It's funny because you think about the difference 8 years makes. Because you remember when Obama left in 2017 and all of the memes that were coming out of Joe Biden, like being like a menace.
Yeah.
And like it's every picture of the two of them together and then the meme being, Joe making some kind of joke about how he's gonna ruin Trump's he left a whoopee cushion in the Oval Office or something like that. And it's even in those 8 years, no one's really making those jokes as far as Biden as the fun sidekick as he was 8 years ago.
Sure, I'd love him to go. When he told President Obama this is a big effing deal, I'd like him to throw a few profanities out tonight.
Yeah,
because listen, I know none of that's ever going to happen. This is just me being a goof. But the guy has served 50 years in government, which, let's be honest, that's too long for anybody to be in government. It should not be a lifetime deal.
I don't think to work in government, I think to always be an elected official, yes.
Okay, well, that's
what I mean? Because I feel
like
there's different things that you can do and heading departments and stuff like that. But being just an elected official for 50 years is too long.
Yeah, and, it's... Listen, there's going to be people who are very ecstatic. What do you do other than him apologizing? What do you want to hear him say?
That's the big one, honestly. I would say the apology. It'd be funny if he had some pretty honest moments, but I'm mostly thinking it'll be pretty par for the course.
I hope he does run down all of the achievements in the administration, because it's easy now that he's on his way out and he's diminished. You can tell physically and however much mentally you want to figure he is diminished. I would like him to run down all of the things that were accomplished under his administration. So even though it will not change the minds of some people, it will be a record of, oh, wow, that was 4 years ago. I forgot about that. Because most of us, so much stuff is coming at us constantly. To remember last week is one thing, let alone, oh, yeah, when he first came into office, he did this and this and this.
Yeah.
We don't remember that.
Well, one thing I do remember last week was that Michelle Obama was not at Jimmy Carter's funeral, and it turns out she also will not be at the inauguration. And so let's talk a little bit more about that on the other side of this.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft restaurant.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit
dog training? We can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Mean Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
No can do. That's what Michelle Obama said when asked if she was coming to the Trump inauguration on Monday.
Indeed. Michelle Obama will be skipping Monday's inauguration. So if you ever worked with someone, like if you ever worked in a situation where you just did not like the person, like publicly, like it's such a weird thing. I was thinking about this for the Jimmy Carter funeral,
Yes.
right? We joked about the
Sure.
fact that they all had to sit together.
Mhm.
And I think Daily Show did a pretty funny bit as far as in the decade of political rivalries that Trump has had, and even, the Obamas, and even dating back to Gore was there and stuff like that, of all the different things that have happened publicly between these people. And then they have to sit there and for tradition, for, this is how it's been. This is how we do this. And it's interesting because this is a headline as far as Michelle Obama, one, not being there last week, and they said it was a family conflict.
Right.
This time for the inauguration, they have not given a reason. They just said she
She's
ain't
not
going.
coming.
And is that a more normal human response to be like, she has publicly campaigned, all of them, Barack Obama,
Yes.
the Bidens have publicly said, whether you believe it or not, have publicly said this man is a threat.
Yes.
They have called him Hitler. They have called him a fascist. And then to normalize, well, this is just how we do things, so now we're showing up. And she seems to be the only one who is sticking to her guns as far as like, I'm not normalizing this. And is that good, or is that?
I think it's fine. I do believe it is the normal human emotion. One, she's not a former president. She's a former first lady.
Yeah.
There has been no love lost between them, and I'm getting so tired of hypocrisy on both sides. It's refreshing to me to see somebody go, I don't like this guy. I don't think he should be in office. He's a danger. I'm not going to go up there and pretend that this is okay, because it's not okay. And before people start screaming and yelling that Michelle Obama isn't coming, think back 4 years. There was a very big vacancy up on the podium from the man who was going to be sworn in on Monday. So yes, I think I get part of the, like a state funeral is a different thing because you're celebrating someone else. Now down the road, if Michelle Obama happens to outlive Donald Trump, Barack Obama will have to go to the state funeral. I don't think
That's interesting.
I don't think
more likely
she'd go to that either.
Probably within. I mean, this sounds awful. But yes,
Well,
we will have. Let's put it this way: we will have more presidential funerals.
Sure, because our former presidents, a lot of them are getting older.
Yes,
from George Bush to Bill Clinton, they're all getting up in years. If that to me is like, okay, a funeral. This is part of the. It's like it's like the coronation or something with the royal. You go, you sit there. It's church. You don't have to make small talk. You can just look straight ahead and pretend that you're very sad, and then get up and leave. You don't have to interact.
Yeah,
you can belly tap somebody if you want, but other than that, it's not a big deal. Whereas this, if you go to an inauguration, it implies that you are supporting what is happening. And Michelle Obama does not want to support what is happening. So she has chosen
But when
to
last
miss it.
time? When in 2017?
because her husband was the outgoing president.
Yeah.
Now she's not bound now by that protocol.
So if Jill Biden wasn't going, you think that'd be a bigger deal?
I do. I think,
Okay.
I think if you're the outgoing first lady, that's fine. I also don't think that, there's the big beef about Kamala Harris didn't invite J.D. Vance to tour the House. I don't care. Again, that all of this, a lot of these protocols were tossed away last time. In 4 years ago.
Another protocol that's being tossed away is raising the flag for the inauguration day, right? As far as instead of a full 30 days. So I guess that's the question. It's like, do we care? Like, is it that big of a deal? I mean, to a certain extent, is it not hypocritical for these people to campaign and say the things that they said and try to convince us of those, us as the constituents, as the voters, as the nation, of these things? They did not convince enough people of that, and he is now the president. So do you just drop that and pretend everything's fine and we continue with the protocols and the traditions?
No, because that's what leads to distrust amongst the electorate. That's why we always say these candidates never tell the truth. They never do this. I would rather somebody do what Michelle Obama's doing. I can't. Oh, I'm so worked up. Like when somebody's running against someone for think of Marco Rubio and think of Ted Cruz and think of all these guys who ran against Donald Trump and the horrible stuff they said about him. And then because it's politics.
The horrible stuff that Trump said about those guys.
Right. And then, now they're all buddy. It's like, you hate this person.
I know. All right, we got to take a break. But when we come back, we'll spin around the state on Spanning State.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit Frederick.com/cancer.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling.
In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 844-763-2837 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today, 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizon, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value in life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Tonight, the Bucks dispel the Orlando Magic once again.
Right back to Giannis, and Giannis, a thunderous left-hand jam again.
Our coverage starts tonight at 6 with Bucks shoot-arounds on your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it is currently 23 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Julia Fellow. Expect less than an inch of snow tonight. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. The low will be 20 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 36 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a ceasefire deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. That includes the release of hostages, prisoners, the opening of borders, and admittance of aid. ABC's Karen Travers.
President Biden says in a statement he is, quote, thrilled that those who have been held hostage are being reunited with their families. He said the deal between Israel and Hamas, which he says will halt the fighting in Gaza and surge much-needed aid to Palestinians there, comes after many months of what he calls intensive, dogged, and painstaking diplomacy by the U.S., along with Egypt and Qatar. The president says in his statement, quote, it is long past time for the fighting to end and the work of building peace and security to begin. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A WTMJ exclusive. Two former presidents of Leinenkugel Brewing say they have offered to buy the Chippewa Falls Brewery from Molson Coors and continue brewing there. Dick and Jake Leinenkugel say Molson Coors has rejected that offer. Last year, Molson Coors announced plans to shut down the 157-year-old brewery. The last day of brewing beer at the brewery is this Friday. More than 50 employees will lose their job. Dick Leinenkugel will join Wisconsin's Afternoon News exclusively at 5:15 p.m. tonight. For just the third time in 60 years, Milwaukee County soon will have a new district attorney. Kent Laverne will take the oath of office tomorrow afternoon. Former Milwaukee Police Lieutenant and host on 101.7 The Truth, Dr. Ken Harris, tells Wisconsin's Morning News Laverne needs to eliminate the current cash bail policies set by outgoing DA.
Instead of letting someone sit in jail because the cash bail is what it's supposed to be, $1 million, we make it $1,500 and they bail out and go back to the same community and cause trouble. That's happened under this previous district attorney.
In 2023, Wisconsin voters approved a constitutional amendment to allow judges to consider the severity of the crime when setting bail. Time for News About Your Money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Really nice, almost more than 2% above what it normally is. NASDAQ up 471, S&P 500 up 2% too, up 111. The Dow is up more than 1%, up 773. It's now past 43,000. Wow. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:04.
This report sponsored by the Fireside Theater, the ultimate Elvis tribute musical.
Push one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now. Go, cat, go. Elvis is back in the building at the Fireside Theater in Fort Atkinson, and you've never seen anything like it. Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. Back in the building features a rotating cast of the finest award-winning Elvis tribute artists and Anne Margaret, all backed by an incredible live band and ensemble. Experience the eras of Elvis in this legendary feel-good show. From the 50s to the movies, the 60s comeback to the rockin' 70s. It's all here. Oh, see right up. Every ticket to the Fireside includes a superb dinner prepared by award-winning chefs and a chance to visit their spectacular gift shops. Hurry, tickets are going fast. Call 920-563-9505 or visit firesidetheater.com. Elvis back in the building, live on stage, January 9th through February 23rd. Only at the Fireside Theater.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. A win for the Badgers last night, 70-68 over Ohio State at the Kohl Center. The 24th ranked Badgers play USC next on Saturday. The Wisconsin women's host the Buckeyes tonight in Madison. And the Badger sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Giannis gets his 50th career triple-double as the Bucks beat the Kings 130-115 to end the Kings' 7-game winning streak. They're back for Game 2 of their 4-game homestand at home tonight against the Magic. Tip-off is at 7 p.m., and our coverage starts at 6 o'clock with Bucks shoot-around right here on WTMJ. Let's take a look at your roads with their WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. 43 southbound, Good Hope to Silver Spring. It's just a lot of traffic there. There are some slowdowns. Just be aware of that. And also 94 west, about 6 miles beyond the ramp from Highway 89. The left lane is blocked because of a crash. This is right by Lake Mills. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, expect less than an inch of snow. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. The low will be 20 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 36 degrees. Friday, with a high of 42 degrees. Then, Saturday, the temperatures fall again down to 27. And even though it'll be sunny on Sunday, the high is only expected to reach 20 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 23 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 19 degrees. And in Waukesha, the current temperature is 18 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:08.
time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Well, we brought the wheel in from the shed so it wouldn't freeze. We wanted to make sure we could still spin it during the show today because, oh my gosh, it's cold. But doesn't matter. The cold does not stop Wisconsin from creating many, many stories, and we try to give you some that you might have missed. If you want to get more details, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. Kristin, are you ready?
Indeed.
Then here we go.
Lac de Flambeau.
Lac de Flambeau. Okay, so we've been following this for a while now.
Yeah.
Because the signs, or rather the barricades, point to an unpleasant development in the long-standing dispute between residents in the town of Lac de Flambeau and the Lac de Flambeau Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. So 2 years ago this month, tribal officials blocked 4 roads after negotiations failed between the tribe, the town of Lac de Flambeau, and title companies over expired easements on the routes that cross tribal lands. While the tribe reopened the roads weeks later, it's been granting access to in exchange for monthly payments that town leaders say they can no longer afford. In an October 18th letter, Lac de Flambeau tribal president John Johnson Sr. gave the town until January 16th, which is tomorrow,
yes, it is,
to pay outstanding fees to the tribe, saying, quote, failure to pay will result in restricted access over the 4 roads. With the deadline approaching, homeowners fear they'll once again face restricted access to their properties. The reappearance of barricades has been unsettling for more than 70 homeowners who rely on the roads to reach their properties within the tribe's reservation. A WPR report said that in December, the tribe invited the town to meet with the tribal council without attorneys present to, quote, foster positive and constructive dialogue.
What happened?
The town's legal counsel advised board members not to meet with the tribal council due to the sensitive nature of the pending litigation involving the town. The talks to have seem to have hit a, wait for it, roadblock.
About it. That sounded like a sentence from an attorney, didn't it? The last one. It sounded like that was attorney speak.
Yeah.
So,
isn't that, yes. Far as like, can we just talk about it? And then the lawyers doing their job saying, I would say no. I would say that this is using the humanity of us just trying to come to a settlement through talking about as neighbors.
Right.
Does not always square with legalese.
Right, but I think there can be a face-to-face good faith meeting, and then you bring the lawyers in to solidify the deal.
But I feel like it's the same reason why you don't talk to cops. Your right to remain silent, right? Not that this is a hostile situation.
Sure.
I mean, it could kind of is hostile, but as far as like protecting yourself from saying anything without your lawyer present. Because once it's out, once you've said it, then you've said it, and then they got to rehash it and defend it or whatever. And it's easier sometimes to say nothing.
Well, that's true. This is going to be going on for a while. I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But for now, we must head to the frozen wheel.
Madison.
Serve, set, spike. Oh, my goodness. We know that women's volleyball is a big deal in Madison, where the Badger women's team has won not only a national championship, but 9 Big Ten championships. Well, last week, women's volleyball went to the next level as a new professional volleyball league, Love Be Pro, launched its inaugural season. The new league has 6 teams, including a Madison team with decorated players like Star Badger alumni Sarah Franklin and Lauren Carlini. The Love, or League One Volleyball professional season, will run 14 weeks. It started on Saturday. It runs through April. Love Madison is made up, like I said, of decorated athletes from Sun Prairie to Brazil. In an interview with WPR, head coach Matt Ferberinger said, quote, we have Olympians, we have all-time Wisconsin greats. Madison Love hopes to draw on the already strong Badger fan base. Just really looking forward, honestly, to playing in the Fieldhouse again and being in front of all those Badger fans, Carlini said. She is a setter who won the 2014 Big Ten Player of the Year during her time with the Badgers. She recently became a 2024 Olympic silver medalist. They will play head-to-head games during the week as well as weekend matches. And if you want to get tickets, you can buy them online. And remember, if you're jonesing for women's volleyball, you can hear Badgers women's volleyball right here on WTMJ.
Madison is becoming kind of, I don't know if Mecca might be too big of a word, but women's pro soccer, now women's volleyball, a professional women's volleyball team. They have a fast league collegiate softball team. Like, they got a lot of women's sports going on in Madison.
And now you've got pro volleyball. So that's excellent. All right, one last spin of the wheel.
Cleveland.
All right. So imagine turning on your faucet, and instead of clean, clear water, you saw brown water that stunk.
Ew.
Well, that's what's been happening to Scott Eckelhart, a resident of the village of Cleveland. For the last 7 years, Scott has reported sporadic bouts of brown, fishy water coming out of his faucets. Officials have repeatedly reassured him that while the water may look off-putting, it is safe. Based on recent tests conducted on tap water from his home and water from a village hydrant, show that might not be the case.
Uh-oh.
In November, the public investigator team at the Journal-Sentinel submitted samples of both clear and brown water from Scott's kitchen faucet to a certified lab in Wisconsin. The test revealed his water contained unsafe levels of manganese and arsenic, with arsenic exceeding state and federal standards. Jeez. And am I pronouncing
manganese.
that? Manganese, surpassing the EPA's lifetime health advisory level.
Lifetime health.
Wow.
He's getting it just from a sample of his water.
The village then tested water samples from 2 wells and 8 hydrants. Both the wells and 7 of the hydrants tested in the normal range. The 8th hydrant showed double the safe level of arsenic and slightly elevated levels of manganese, according to the Department of Natural Resources. Manganese, am I saying that right?
Manganese.
Manganese.
Manganese, like mangoes that are easy.
Okay, manganese can turn water brown. Water quality experts said there isn't enough evidence to assess the potential public safety risk. More tests are needed to understand the scope of the issue, they said. When you hear arsenics in your water, if I heard manganese, I honestly, because I can barely pronounce it, wouldn't know what it was. But arsenic, I know. They made a whole play about that. Arsenic and lace. It's like, that stuff, that's what you do to isn't that a line in He Had It Coming from Chicago?
It's like, well. And also, 7 years you've got fishy smelling brown water?
Well, we talked about this.
I do remember us talking about it before.
From the public investigator team, we talked about this on the show, and at the time, it was still, the test had said everything was fine.
Right. Well,
and apparently he was onto something.
He was onto
Trust your gut.
something. Not having a refreshing drink of water, though. All right, that's spinning. If you want any more details, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. You can also listen to it on the podcast. Get our podcast wherever you get your podcast. When we come back, we will be joined by our teammate Julia Fellow. You know her from Wisconsin's Afternoon News. They have a very special feature coming up on today's show. She's going to tell us all about it here on Spanning the State.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
What are the impacts of just the constantly escalating housing costs in this market and all other markets?
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
This has real effects on real people's lives. People's rents go up every year. People can't find an affordable starter home. People can't downsize. We need to change something.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris are joined by Steve Jones, host of the Dunker Spot podcast. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
I'm Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Chief Medical Officer for Community Health at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Every year in the U.S., about 21,000 lung cancer deaths are caused by radon, an odorless, tasteless, and colorless gas. 1 in 10 Wisconsin homes has high levels of radon. Does yours? Call 1-888-LOW-RADON or visit lowradon.org to learn more. Test, fix, save a life.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
If you are able, please help affected people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. You can donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help Red Cross respond and help people recover. So do what you can. Thank you very much.
Save big money now at Menards. Stand up to life's messes with our great selection of durable and waterproof flooring. Great Lakes vinyl plank flooring is easy to install and is durable, pet-friendly, and waterproof. Plus, it has sound-reducing attached pad for added comfort. Update your spaces with Great Lakes Legends vinyl plank flooring through January 26th for just $2.99 per square foot. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristin Brey.
I'm Brian Noonan. You guys are going to have to talk amongst yourselves. We have some busy stuff going on here in the studio. We got a story we have to hear. Anyway, there's been a lot of talk over the last at least year and a half about 794. Oh, what should we, a long time probably.
Long time, yeah.
But what should we do about it? What do we do? I don't know. We all have opinions. This afternoon, though, on Wisconsin's Afternoon News with John Mercure and Julia Fellow, or Julia Fellow and John Mercure. I don't make the lineup here. I don't give the billing. They've got a very special feature. Julia's in the studio with us now. Hello, Julia.
Yes, the 794 interchange. So that's when you want to go from the Marquette interchange to the Hone, or the Hone to the Marquette.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, and it's like suspended in the air. That's where you drive.
Sure.
Just so people can picture it. And also, if you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, you can see what it looks like now and what it could look like after. 794. Should it stay or should it go?
That's the big question.
So there's 3 options now after a fall survey with the DOT.
Wait, stay, go, and what's the third option?
Improve.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's some improvements, and I thought that was pretty interesting. You want to hear the design flaw?
Sure.
Okay, take a listen. This is David Pittman. He is part of this design project with the DOT.
Some of the curves are a little bit tighter than we'd like to see on a mainline movement of the freeway. For example, if you're going eastbound and you want to go south over the Hone, that curve right there is very tight. We say it's like a 35-mile-an-hour design speed for that curve, where this is a 50-mile-an-hour facility. So obviously there's a need for people to slow down. We've had trucks tip over in that area.
Yeah, that's a primo spot where that could happen. It's also a primo spot for businesses. So if that were to come down, it'd be 30 acres of lakefront land. Mm-hmm. So they're expecting maybe some high rises. Other people say it will connect the downtown with the Third Ward. There's not going to be like this artificial divider, so to speak. Other people who want it torn down say it's ugly. I say
it is ugly.
What do you want it to be? A racing speedway or something?
Yeah, aren't all roads kind of ugly? All roads look the same, don't they?
I feel like specifically highways, like you see the old, and not that they're not convenient, because they are, but you see some of the old pictures before, like 43 just cut through the middle of Milwaukee, and what it looked like from an aerial view before. And highways, unless you work for the DOT, I think those are the only people who think highways are beautiful.
Yeah.
No, but they're utilitarian.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying they're not useful.
Right.
I'm just saying, I look at this picture, again, if you would like to see the before and what it looks like now and what it could look like, 855-616-1620. And the ability to have landscaping, the ability for it to be multi-use, the ability to be able to walk, and leverage our downtown as a more habitable space.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying.
And I probably to the shock of no one, am a little bit more of an urbanist than a suburbanist.
Right. Well,
as far as, and that's who this is. That's who doesn't want this to happen. Are the people in the suburbs?
It would completely transform the skyline too.
Sure.
Like what I'm seeing with some of the pictures, one of them looks like a little mini Sears Tower or Willis Tower, or whatever it is in Chicago. But the thing is that Vince Vitrano was bringing up, what if it becomes something like the area where Pfizer Forum was when they got rid of that interchange right there, or the freeway, and it was barren for decades?
But I feel like there's been so much, that's fair, but look what it looks like now. Mm-hmm. So if the timeline is sped up, that it could be developed at a much faster timeline than it was, because I think anyone who's been to the Deer District now would say that was an improvement for the city.
Oh, big
Yes,
time, big
100%.
time. Oh, I mean, it transformed our city, and this might too. And they say it could bring $1.5 billion in extra money. The economic impact would be huge. Who would benefit from it? Probably the business owners. Yes, it might look beautiful. How long is this going to take? Well, next year. By next year, they'll make a decision. And then I said, okay, what about when you guys break ground? When could it begin?
I would say right now we're currently looking at that timeline. 2027 might be a little aggressive.
Here's one fatal flaw in what a lot of people say when they say we want this to look like that, because not a lot of people use the interchange. Well, the DOT says about 73,900 vehicles drive through the interchange of 794 every single day. And the Hone, for example, that everybody loves, it's like 42,000.
Okay.
So it's like a 30,000 vehicle difference. So how would you be able to have that amount of people every day going through the
That's
city?
what I wanted to ask our urbanist, our resident urbanist. Where are all these,
Which is weird, because that's not where the backup is.
That's
you know what
true,
I mean? Like,
but
when you think about when we think
yet.
Well, it's interesting as far as I don't feel like I've ever, even on Summerfest weekends, like that corridor of heading to the lake never feels as backed up as it does by AmFam.
But think about when you
which feels like backed up almost daily.
Using your Summerfest example, think of all those surface streets around the Third Ward there, from underneath 794 to the Summerfest grounds, how packed they are. Now take 794 out of the equation and put all those cars on those surface streets. If you're a Third Ward resident, do you want all that increased traffic all the time?
I mean, there's a lot of Third Ward residents who also don't want to be living next to a music venue, and yet they chose to live there.
Well,
so there's a lot. I don't know if I
Do you
want to
see what the DOT said about that?
Sure, why not?
I said, the rendering of someone who's really pro for it and is going to be joining us at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, wants Clybourne to be 2 lanes both ways. And I'm like, okay, so what would it look like to help with all this congestion that Brian was just paying attention to?
We would have to improve Clybourne in some fashion. Right now, we're still doing that traffic analysis to determine what that would look like in the future. We've got some ideas, but we don't want to. We're still kind of studying that now. But yeah, that would be something that would have to happen in order to accommodate the amount of traffic that we would anticipate that would need to take that roadway.
It's been a year they haven't fixed the potholes on Michigan. They're not. So how long is it going to take them to get Clybourne widened to 4 lanes? And is that even enough?
Super impressive to me. When I have my dad come, he's like, "Wow, look at the engineering of that."
Certainly. Well, the thing is, I feel like you should. I mean, because obviously you guys are spending a whole hour on this afternoon. That's why you're here promoting it. But a big reminder is because I know someone texted in saying, "Leave it the F alone."
Oh,
but they
I
can't,
know.
right? Like, so no matter what, something has to happen because it's deteriorating.
Yes.
So the choice now is it isn't do nothing or tear it down.
Fix
it's
it.
that either has to be basically rebuilt, which is going to be annoying, and there's going to be construction no matter what. And so it's just, do we fix it or do we make something new?
So we have one guy who's so for it, another guy who's vehemently against it.
Are they on together?
John, yeah, we're going to have a powwow, and John and I are going to throw down too because we don't agree.
Oh,
yeah. So
Very
get
nice.
ready. All right.
All right. Which hour is that?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, right out of the gate.
Let's go.
You guys better be on my side.
We don't know what side
I'll
you're
ask
on.
you off air which side you're
Yeah,
on.
well,
All right.
tell us in a minute.
We'll be back after this.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
We're not going to be spoilers and tell you what side Julia falls on in this debate about 794.
It's so interesting to me as far as, as we all work in content, like what's going to resonate with people. And this is one of those topics.
Yep.
I feel like it's like legalizing marijuana. What are some of the other ones? But always,
guns, abortion.
Yes, some of the hot button issues that everyone has an opinion on. And it's so funny how much construction for highways gets people riled up.
Oh, I know. Well, a lot of people use it.
Oh, of course. No, I know.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It seems like something maybe on paper you'd think would be dry. And yet
Totally.
it is not.
This is
not at all.
Just wait until 3 o'clock.
We'll be listening.
We will be listening, yeah.
But now we're going to listen to ABC News and then local headlines.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Israel and Hamas announced they have reached a tentative agreement that would end the more than year-long war in Gaza and free hostages kidnapped in the October 7th attacks. President Biden at the White House says the framework of that deal is close to his plan proposed back in May, winding down the war in phases, getting humanitarian aid into Gaza, Israeli forces withdrawing, and bringing the remaining hostages home, including Americans.
There was no other way for this war to end than with a hostage deal. And I'm deeply satisfied this day has finally come, for the sake of the people of Israel and the families waiting in agony.
The president says the brokered talks with Middle East leaders also included working together with the incoming Trump administration, acting as one voice for the U.S. President-elect Trump, in a social media post, took credit for reaching the deal. The deal kicks in on Sunday. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time is 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story: the 2 students still in the hospital after the shooting at Abundant Life Christian Madison are improving, we hear. A spokesperson with the hospital says the patients have been upgraded to good condition. They're being treated at American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. A student and teacher were killed in the December shooting. The shooter shot and killed herself. Madison police are still investigating the motive. A student at Milwaukee Public Schools has tested positive for lead poisoning. The health department says the student attends Golda Meir, a lower campus just north of downtown. The department identified lead paint in the basement bathroom at the school. The district and health department are currently working to take care of the identified lead hazards. No other students have been reported ill at this time. Wisconsin State Fair is out with a big announcement today. Best-selling R&B group of all time, Boys to Men, coming to State Fair. They're headlining the newly Bank 59 main stage Friday, August 1st. So fun. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's been so good. Dow is up more than 1.25%, up 773. S&P 500 up 2%, up 115. NASDAQ up 2.5%, up 494. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at your roads with the WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. Be aware in Lake Mills, headed into into Dane County, 94 west, about 5 miles beyond the ramp from Highway 89. The left lane is blocked right now because of a crash, and it's causing major backups. Also, this just popped up. 4145 South at County Line Road. The right shoulder is closed because there's a disabled vehicle, and it's causing some major slowdowns near Menominee Falls. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds. There might be some evening snow showers. Less than an inch tonight, though. It'll be breezy. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. The low will be 20 degrees. Thursday, tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 36. Friday, breezy, a high of 42. Then it takes a turn. Gets really, really cold, a high of 27 again. Breezy, falling temperatures into Sunday. It'll be sunny, but you won't feel it. The high will be just 10 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 23 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 18 degrees. And right now in Green Bay, it's 20 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:34.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Should I delay my Social Security benefits or should I start taking them right away? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your decision can impact your income for the rest of your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help you create a strategy to maximize your benefits so you can make the most of what you've earned. Social Security is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap. Take the first step today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and get a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Don't leave money on the table. Text SS to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. john.mercure@WTMJ.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @WTMJ.com.
The truth is, this party has the brand viability of Nickelback. The DNC needs a glow-up, a total brand overhaul from professionals outside DC, because change is coming, the nasty kind.
So at this point, we all know that Ben Wickler, Wisconsin's Democratic State Party Chair, is running to head the Democratic National Committee. But that's not the only leadership position available to the DNC that is now trying to
figure out what went
where
wrong.
we go here from here. But and Ben is also not the only person with Wisconsin connections that is running for Democratic leadership. Josh Burstein, who is the creative director for the 2024 DNC convention, former DNC senior creative advisor and Obama White House digital strategist, and UW-Madison grad and Wisconsin enthusiast overall, is running for vice chair. What does that mean? What does it take? Why is running for these things such a big secret? So joining us now on the phone is Josh Burstein. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, how you doing?
We are doing great. And so it's funny to me because I was showing Rhea, our producer, and my co-host Brian, your video, because you put out a campaign video, despite the fact that only 450 people get to vote when it comes to party leadership. And so what does it actually take to campaign for something like this?
Yeah, totally. And for those to check it out on Instagram, it's at jburstofa, and it is a little more unhinged and unconventional than your average campaign ad. I would say I don't feel Tony Evers should do a campaign video like mine. Got it. But, maybe he can be an Egg McMuffin influencer. But, I think that felt are like a student council race with national implications, right? Because it is a decentralized 450 people that will decide who represents, a party, a operation that over half of America would like to work well, right?
Sure.
So right now it's been like my sign my yearbook phase where I am seeking 40 nominations out of the 450 to be considered a legitimate candidate that will then get to participate in the forums and ultimately be voted for one of the open vice chair seats to support whoever they choose for chair.
So we hear the title all the time, the senior or the president of the DNC, the vice chairman of the DNC, the vice chairman of the DNC. What does that actually mean? What is? How does it work? How does what would you do if you were the vice chair of the DNC? Give us a look behind the curtain, Josh.
Sure. Well, it may surprise you, but the DNC has a arcane and convoluted process to all this.
Shocking.
And vice chairman is undefined, but I do think they should do something. So, historically, it's been sometimes just sort of a LinkedIn checkmark for electeds, and that's really what I'm running to push against, which is to say that this is a moment we need everybody. There needs to be a stronghold for good ideas, good people. And so I want the vice chair to be a position of doing things, getting to work on actually enacting all of these, visions that the chair and the members want to have accomplished. And so my whole background is as somebody who has campaigned on the ground as an organizer, also just doing stand-up out there with Charlie Barron's in Trump country, and just trying to figure out how to be the most persuasive and help people actually identify with a brand that's feeling pretty toxic right now.
I know you're a lifelong Democrat, but from what you understand, is the Republican Party organized in the same way as far as it's kind of this like insular club that gets to choose party politics?
It's one of those things where the voters I'm speaking to, every single one of them wants change. That doesn't necessarily mean that they all want the same change, right? And so it's a bit of an amalgam of folks who work directly as state chairs or have been selected by these states, and every state is represented. But then there's also at-large folks where, it's the head of the Mayor's Association or the head of the DSCC governors. Everyone sort of has one representative at the table. But you'd be surprised that, that sort of, voice of the party that you're most familiar with may not actually have a say in this, in which the DNC is, essentially supposed to be the conduit for all of these and serve all of the parties and committees.
Are there some Midwestern type values or something that need to come in? Because, as you said, the brand is in trouble. You shouted out Nickelback in your video, and
for the record, I would go to any Nickelback concert.
All right.
I am a fan. I don't mean to throw them under the bus.
Fair enough. But what needs to change for the DNC to affect wider change to Democratic voters?
Sure. I mean, I think that's what everybody wants to know.
Yes.
And I guess there's no quick fixes. I think the big difference that we need to start thinking about is modernizing our message in terms of actually showing up like I did online, but, everyone's sort of just showing a modicum of personality and standing for something and showing up, right, year round, not just sort of, lizard-brained every even-numbered October, right? So I think that it's about nurturing these relationships online and offline, and not just for the party's sake with big influencers, but, anyone in Economowalk with 5,000 Facebook friends, because the face of the party is not a chair or the president. It's who you meet in your community, and especially when so many folks just have a whole life in which especially in rural communities where Fox News is just sort of the background noise everywhere, how are we actually going to cut through? And so, yeah, we have to be there year round. There's no astroturfing. We got to just present quality Lambeau field grass.
There you go.
So, Josh, as someone who wrangled influencers and creators at the DNC this last year and throughout the election,
including
me, what do you look at as the difference between, in retrospect, how the Republican Party is leveraging new media compared to the Democratic Party?
Great question. Well, I mean, that was a great pep rally, right? And if every day was like the NASCAR roll call that we had on that Tuesday, then we'd be doing pretty good. But I think one of the things I keep hearing, and I start this video on, is that, we need a Joe Rogan to the left. And I guess the point is that he was there. He was a Bernie guy, and we sent him somewhere else because we did not have the big tent energy. And if you want that Joe Rogan style thing, you need parasocial relationships that are built over years and years, and talking about, I guess your fantasy football league or playing Call of Duty, and, showing up in all these other different spaces that isn't just so, hammer on nail about politics and preaching to the converted, right? So it is saying who's willing to do the Bros for Harris podcast on Rumble or Truth Social and stay there and actually, be a good messenger in those spaces. And then, I think it's, as I was saying, nurturing those creators that are, parenting bloggers that are much smaller and just sort of, making waves in Western Wisconsin and not just like thinking about going to the bright, shiny things all the time. It's like, how do we show up in the same way we want to be in 72 counties in Wisconsin? How are we there virtually as well?
Well, and I'm glad that you made that differentiation, because in the video you said we don't need people coming on doing dances and things like that. And now you're talking about a much more genuine approach where our candidate would sit down with somebody and actually talk to them about being a human being, because some of the ways that the Democrats and even Republicans too have put their candidates in videos, it's so disingenuous. It's like, why? One, you're wasting your time. Two, is anybody buying this garbage?
Yeah, and I kind of close out the video talking about, like, we don't need to be running boxer, lumberjack, astronaut veterans, right, as our guys. It's like, if you like to crochet, you got a spot in this party, right? Like, it's not going to be the most visually engaging, Avengers trailer. But I think that, it can you show your personality? Can authenticity show through? And we really, back to Avengers, need to have a whole Justice League. Everyone has a role, and it's not going to be one person vying in 2028 that's going to be the answer. We really need to make infrastructure sexy and lift up a whole lot of people at the local level. I think the future is local, and then the people who really just commit to the hard work are going to be hopefully rewarded for their competency and have bigger roles in this party.
And I admire your big tent mentality, blending Marvel and DC in your analogy.
Hey, I've seen Spider-Man, Batman crossovers in the comics. I can geek out with you. I think, we got to believe in a brighter tomorrow with all our heroes out there.
Exactly.
All right, Josh. Well, we don't get to vote for you. I don't think any one of our listeners get to vote for you, but it was very interesting to get a little peek behind the curtain of how party politics, sometimes the sausage is made. So thanks so much, and good luck, Josh.
Thanks so much. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. News time, 2:47. We'll be back after this.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft restaurant.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Younglith with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Brian and I are here still debating.
Wow, yeah, we're still going 794.
I feel like this hour for Wisconsin Afternoon News is going to be heated because people have a lot of opinions on it.
Now, Julia was in here more than a half hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
People are still texting in.
commenting and texting in about it. And it just, you make a good point. The lake, I think if you have a city on a lake, you should really push that lakefront. Mm-hmm. And really make that the centerpiece of your city. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but Chicago does that. But that was before it was even built. They put in policies and laws that said we could not build east of Lakeshore Drive. That's why there was all the big problems with the Soldier Field and all that. There were the museums there, and then the rest is just beach and, hey, look at our beautiful lake. And I think for the people who are saying to get rid of 794, that to me is kind of what they're after. They're like, hey, we're so close to the lake. We're in a really cool area of downtown. We want to accentuate that more. But then as somebody who drives all the time, I'm like, well, I need a road.
Well, I think that's it, right? Like, cause you obviously you drive here every day. Yeah. And I think for anyone who lives in the suburbs and comes in and works at the U.S. Bank, or now the Baird Building, or any of the Northwestern Mutual and the Milwaukee Tool, and we now have companies coming back to Milwaukee, and we have people who don't necessarily live in Milwaukee who need to get to those companies, and so I get that this is a hard decision, and that no matter what, there's going to be winners and losers from it. But I look at this picture, and I feel like there is a lot more we could be doing, and I'm innovative.
Sure.
But I also understand that I am not driving on it every day.
It does, part of my default is I look at this architectural rendering, which looks very pretty. How much use will it actually get? Now, they said part of this is a dog park that's supposed to be there. And I would imagine people who live in the Third Ward or live over here, they'd use that. That would be used. would the walking path be used to cross the river? I don't know. Maybe. So it's like we have to weigh out, and this is where city planners, I think, not just here but in general, need to look far ahead to say, okay, what do we want our city to look like down the road? Because there does seem to be, as I go from here in the office over to the Third Ward, it does seem like I'm going to another city. Just going
got those
under
sweet
the
pickleball
underpass.
courts, though. I was trying to utilize that
Those are
space
nice.
under the
Well,
the
listen,
highway.
there's other people utilizing the space under the 794, and I see them every day. And and it was a nice staging area for the Secret Service when they were in
Also
town.
true, yeah.
So pros and cons.
Pros
I don't
and
know.
cons, and you'll get plenty of that on Wisconsin's Afternoon News coming up next because their full 3 o'clock hour
Yeah.
going to be debating this. Maybe they'll change your mind.
Get your texting
I
fingers
would love
ready.
to find out if anyone listening who listens that whole hour goes in thinking one way and comes out thinking another.
We'll find out. Afternoon News is next.
See ya.
So close you can smell the rubber on their shoes. Okay, maybe